Let's go Dolphins! A storm is quietly brewing within the facility, decisions being made behind closed doors, conversations happening off camera, and a quarterback situation that's shaping up to be one of the most explosive stories in recent franchise history. Think you know what's coming? Think again. What's really going on with Tua Tagovailoa? Why has the new management been so quiet until now? And why could the next move completely shake up the quarterback group? We're about to unravel a web of hidden intentions, silent power plays, and a front office preparing for a complete identity overhaul. I'm talking real, behind-the-scenes conversations with enormous implications, and I have all the details here. But before I reveal everything, be sure to like this if you're a die-hard Dolphins fan. And if you've been a Dolphins fan for over 20 years, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Type out loud and proudly, "Go Dolphins!" My heart bleeds turquoise and orange. Let's go! Now, let's get into it. For the better part of 2 weeks after his hiring, Jeff Hafley dodged every question related to the quarterback position. Every time the media brought up Tua or any QB situation, Hafley passed the buck to general manager John Eric Sully Sullivan. No names, no hints, just deflections. That alone created some uncertainty. But recently, during an interview with Jim Rome, Hafley finally dropped the name, Tua. That moment wasn't just a casual slip. It was calculated, deliberate, and telling. Hafley said, and I quote, "We had a good conversation with Tua. We talked about a lot of things. But ultimately, this is going to come down to who we believe gives us the best chance to win." Now pause right there. That but is doing a lot of heavy lifting. You know how this goes. Everything said before the word but gets nullified. It's the classic butter you up moment before the hammer drops. And what that tells me, and many others paying close attention, is that Hafley and Sully are not committing to Tua. In fact, it sounds like they're prepping the fan base for a reality where Tagovailoa isn't part of the future. Look, Hafley didn't come to Miami to inherit a system. He and Sullivan want their own guys, players they selected, quarterbacks that fit their specific vision. Starting fresh is the classic move when a new regime takes over, and that's likely what we're looking at here. Now, we all know Tua is under contract for 2025, but everything points toward him being off the roster before the 2026 season kicks off. The front office seems unwilling to let Tua linger as a potential distraction if Quinn Ewers or any other new QB is their starter going forward. Let's talk money. Financially, there are 3 possible paths: cutting him, trading him, or keeping him. Cutting him pre-June 1st creates a massive cap hit for 2026, but also frees up a whopping $53.4 million in cap space for 2027. Post-June 1st, the cap hit is smaller, but so is the savings. The numbers don't lie. Cutting Tua would cripple the team short-term, but open the floodgates long-term. There's also chatter about potential trade interest. Personally, I don't buy it. The Dolphins would likely need to eat most of Tua's salary or even attach a high draft pick to get any real value in return. That's a tough sell. Still, some outlets have floated teams like the 49ers, Rams, Colts, Chiefs, and Falcons as possible landing spots. Of those, the 49ers make the most logical sense. Tua could rehab his image behind Brock Purdy, especially if San Francisco is willing to let Miami carry the salary. The Rams? If Matthew Stafford retires, sure, maybe there's a role. But none of these options scream perfect fit, and let's be real, the Dolphins aren't in the business of subsidizing another team's quarterback room. So if a trade doesn't make sense, and cutting Tua is painful, then keeping him might feel like the only option left, right? Not necessarily, because keeping Tua creates another problem: uncertainty. How do you establish a new regime's culture with a polarizing figure like Tua looming large in the locker room, especially if he's not the starter? It's Russell Wilson all over again. The Broncos cut Russ and $85 million in dead cap just to move on. The Dolphins might be headed for a similar decision. Now, let's pivot to the alternatives. Malik Willis is a name to watch. Hafley and Sully both have connections to him from their time in Green Bay. Then there's Mac Jones, who has ties to OC Bobby Slowick from their days in San Francisco. Don't rule out Davis Mills either. Slowick coached him in Houston during the 2023 to 2024 seasons. These aren't just random names, they're connected dots, and the picture that's forming is clear. The Dolphins are looking for a new direction at quarterback. If they don't go the free agent or trade route, drafting one is always an option. But as of now, it feels like the staff is leaning on familiarity and system fit over flashy names. If we're really being honest with ourselves, Dolphins fans, this situation with Tua Tagovailoa feels like it's reached the end of the road. Not because he's a bad quarterback, let's not twist the narrative, but because the entire structure around him has changed. The leadership is new. The system is new. And the philosophical direction? It's light years from where this team was when Tua first took the field in aqua and orange. That's why this upcoming decision isn't just about money or talent, it's about identity. And from everything I'm seeing, this regime wants to reshape that identity from the ground up. Let's revisit something important. Hafley's quote, "That good conversation with Tua followed by who gives us the best chance to win," wasn't just an off-the-cuff remark. That's intentional framing. It's the same tone GMs and coaches use when they're preparing a fan base for a breakup. This isn't about whether Tua's a good guy or not. He clearly is. It's about whether he's their guy. And right now, all signs say no. Now let's look at this practically. Cutting Tua is brutal this offseason, but it does clear the books for 2027. Think about that, $120 to $130 million in cap space. That's how you rebuild a contender. It gives Sully and Hafley a full reload. So even if they bite the bullet with some dead money in 2026, they could be playing the long game here, taking one step back to leap two forward. And I can already hear some of you asking, well, why not trade him then? And I get it. You want to at least get something in return. But here's the cold truth. No one is taking on Tua's full contract, and Miami doesn't want to attach a premium draft pick just to unload a player. That's the key. They know this roster needs more talent, not less. Surrendering a second or even first-round pick just to move on from Tua is not only short-sighted, it's a straight-up loss. That's why I keep circling back to the Denver strategy with Russell Wilson. Cut your losses, move on, eat the cap, and reset the clock. And now let's talk quarterbacks again. Malik Willis is the easiest fit, given the Green Bay connection. But Mac Jones? That one intrigues me the most. He's affordable, he's available, and he's already run the type of Shanahan-inspired offense Bobby Slowick wants to install in Miami. He won't cost you a high pick, probably a 4th or 5th rounder, and his cap hit is minimal. In fact, he only counts for around $4 million. That's a low-risk move that gives the Dolphins flexibility. And if it doesn't work out, you cut him loose and go QB hunting again in 2027 with that massive war chest of cap space. But don't sleep on Davis Mills either. His connection with Slowick during their time in Houston gives him a familiarity edge. That's critical in a training camp battle. Imagine a three-way quarterback competition between Quinn Ewers, Mac Jones, and Davis Mills. That's not only realistic, it's smart. It gives the coaching staff multiple paths forward, all while controlling costs and avoiding long-term commitments. It also puts the power in their hands to truly evaluate their guys without outside pressure. And let's not forget the wild card. What if the Dolphins still draft a QB in 2026 or 2027? This isn't just about the next season. It's about laying the foundation for the next 5. If Hafley and Sully are thinking long-term, which they clearly are, then Tua just doesn't fit into that blueprint. Now, quickly pivoting to the coaching staff, Anthony Weaver officially won't be returning as defensive coordinator. That ship sailed the moment Jeff Hafley took over. Hafley's bringing in his own guy in Sean Dugan, someone who knows his defensive philosophy inside and out. Weaver did land on his feet, though. He's now DC for the Baltimore Ravens under new head coach Jesse Minter. No comp picks for Miami since Weaver didn't get a head coaching gig, but it's a clean slate across the board now. Jeff Hafley also made some clear choices about who stays and who goes. Joe Barry and Austin Clark are back, which brings some continuity to the defensive front and linebacker group. But tight ends coach and assistant head coach John Embry, he's out. That means there are still moves to be made on the coaching staff, particularly on the offensive side. Another piece of the identity puzzle shifting right before our eyes. The bottom line here is this: Miami is making it very clear that the past era is over. Hafley, Sully, and Slowick are constructing this roster with intention. Every move is designed to align with their shared vision, and sentimentality doesn't factor into the equation. That's why the odds of Tua returning feel slimmer by the day. Whether it's the financial implications, the lack of fit, or the sheer momentum of the coaching overhaul, the writing is on the wall. And fans better be ready for a new quarterback era in South Florida. So now I want to hear from you. Should the Dolphins bring in Mac Jones or Davis Mills? Should Quinn Ewers be handed the keys? Or would you roll the dice on someone completely different? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out the videos on screen for more exclusive Dolphins content. Go Dolphins, we're just getting started.